are locked away deep, dark in the back of the EA booth here with Matt from Criterion, who's been showing me Need for Speed Most Wanted. How you doing, sir?
Great, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well. This is day one of the show. You guys are all still fresh-faced. Got sandwiches going down over here. So this is the whole show for you, just locked away here, showing people Most Wanted, right?
Yeah, it's, you know, we've got a comfy room, we've got some aircon, finally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of them have got some food.
Well, we'll try not to keep you then. Actually, no, I'm going to keep you as long as possible, and we're just going to stare at them eating the whole time. Thomas, just get...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living the life.
Living the life.
That's how they roll.
All right, let's talk about Need for Speed Most Wanted. This game seems to be combining what's probably my two favorite non-simulation racing games from this generation. You know, Need for Speed Most Wanted, you know, the open world, the police activity, that sort of stuff. And of course, Burnout Paradise. Like, it seems like that these open world games are fitting together in a really crazy way. Was that the goal from the start with this project?
Well, I think that it's us, right? So we made both those games, and you're bound to be influenced. And we've always said that each game is a reflection of who we are at the time. But you know, we know that the game, in Paradise's sense, the game that we shipped was very different from the game that it ended up with, and we learned a huge amount on that journey. And then when it came to Hot Pursuit, we were going for a particular, it was about friends, and it was about the asynchronous play. So when it came to this one, it was, well, first of all, we loved the premise of Most Wanted. And then but we can't, you know, we don't make sequels to other people's games, and we thought that in 2012, well, yeah, let's just bring both of those things, everything that we know about those two games, let's bring them both together into a Most Wanted experience.
It's probably a weird semantic thing, but I mean, yeah, you said you don't make sequels to other people's games, so it's just called Need for Speed Most Wanted. Yeah. That was a 360 game. You've got two games on the same platform with the same name. Like, at any point, was that a struggle? Were the people up top going like, "That's crazy, you can't do that, what's wrong with you?" Like, how did that work?
I think it's really simple. Remember, Most Wanted was actually PS2 and Xbox One first, and it made its way onto 360. But I think that, you know, 2005, the world's changed. It's come, you know, we've come a long way in those 7 years, and it was predominantly a single-player experience. Whereas, you know, we're very much more about friends and both, you know, synchronous experience or multiplayer experiences, whether you're online at the same time or not.
Right.
So no, it's not a leap, and you know, people are smart; they'll get it. You know, it looks quite different.
Yeah, it definitely does look a lot different. So you have all the multiplayer stuff, you know, just leaderboards and autolog stuff for days across, you know, billboards and all these different things. Is the single-player experience largely built around events that also have that stuff in the backdrop, sort of like Burnout Paradise was?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, there is a progression of sorts inside the single-player experience, but you know, and that will be the fire starter for the competition that people are going to have around, you know, the discovery of you know, discoverables that we have, and the things for people to collect, and the competition in race times, and you know, speed through the speed traps and speed cameras. So yeah, there is a loose structure, but again, you know, we spoke about it being an open world experience where the gameplay comes to you. So we just want to put a lot of variety into this open world and loosely guide people through it. Again, using Autolog to help suggest things for you to do in the solo experience.
Cool. Let's talk about the multiplayer. You have this concept of meetups that then lead to different events. How does that system work?
Well, it's a playlist system, so we've got a lot of variety, but we know that if you put, well, in the experience that you had, 8 people, but we'll go to 12 players. If you put 12 cars in the general vicinity of one another, then fun ensues, even though it's not, you know, necessarily an organised event. So the meetups are really important to bring people together. But then the playlist will then say, hey, it might be a team race, or it might be a race, or it might be, what we're showing here is team race, and speed tests. So speed tests are short, you know, 90-second experience of, hey, go off and do that. And you know, we can see players competing for, you know, biggest jumps or fastest speed through a trap. But when you have, things are just more fun with multiple players, and they're more fun with friends. So we use the meetups as a way to just, you know, segment those experiences. But the playlist system is there to serve it up to be just a constant source of gameplay. We don't want to go to lobbies. We don't generally, you know, the paradigm still exists of a lobby and then an experience and then a lobby. We kind of want to do away with that. We want to keep people around the car and just having great fun. So the playlist system is an awesome way for us to just continually serve up play for people.
Okay, now one of the things from Burnout Paradise that really stood out to me, probably the thing that was definitely so I probably played Burnout Paradise for something like 200 hours. It was a really good time. I didn't have a job. Yeah, I didn't have a job, so it was just like, it was a really good time between things. Just like, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to play the shit out of Burnout Paradise. Yeah. And then ended up pretty much 100%ing like the base game. Post DLC, I started working again and didn't necessarily have a whole lot of time to get back to that stuff. But it was one of the things was the multiplayer challenges, and just like, okay, now we all need to pass this specific challenge, whether it's jumping through a specific hoop or doing spins off of a cliff or something like that. Yeah. Is there an equivalent like that in the playlist system?
Absolutely, absolutely. That was such a surprise for us. We thought it was, if it's fun for us, then we figure that other people are going to have a great time. Yeah, the challenges were brilliant, and just a great way for people to have a very different experience in a driving game. A social, get people together, let's all go off and do something. Absolutely, that we're going to have those. Absolutely.
Cool. And now you've got some other kind of leveling up system. You're unlocking new license plate styles and stuff like that, and actually like mods for the cars, full car loadouts. Yep. How does that affect? Is it handling? Like, what kind of different things can you impact?
Yeah, so depending on, we have speed levels. They're sort of our equivalent to ranks. And as players perform certain things and go up through, earn certain speed points, they unlock cars, license plates. There are sort of our, we love Battlefield, so they're sort of our version of dog tags. Yeah. So players can customize their tags, and then if I take you down a particular way, I'll take your tag and I can get my collection. But we can unlock paint packs, new cars, and mods. So I can change tires and body and nitrous and engine, suspension, to change the feel of a car. So we've got some very lightweight cars that may not take a hit from a Boss 302, for example, but you can stiffen them up and make them stronger, or you can take those big heavy cars and and just customize them a little bit for the way that you play. So players can optimize their rollout based upon how they want that car to behave for them. So it's customization around gameplay, right, which we think is really important.
Cool. Obviously, very aggressive DLC for Burnout Paradise. I'm sure you can't get too specific about whatever plans would be there, but airplanes?
Wouldn't that be great? Oh, you don't know the amount of times we get asked about that. What's awesome is every time we come to E3, if we're showing a Burnout game, people are like, when are you guys going to do Need for Speed? And then we're doing Need for Speed. When are you guys going to do this stuff from Burnout?
Well, it's funny because the last couple of games you guys have done have been Need for Speed games. Well, Burnout Crash, obviously, yeah. But it seems like there's definitely like a lot of people clamoring for just pure Burnout. Get back to the unlicensed cars, the full destruction you can have with those cars and stuff like that.
This isn't enough.
I didn't see those cars splintering apart like the Carbon X12 would and some of those other cars. I don't know. I know how they disintegrate on impact and stuff like that. So I just, I think where tech is going, and you think about the next generation of consoles and all that sort of stuff, the things that could be done with just a completely unhinged Burnout experience. Is there any draw on your part? Are you guys like in the back of your mind assembling the ultimate Burnout game and just biding your time doing Need for Speed until the time comes, or what?
Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah. Burnout hasn't gone away.
Yeah,
it certainly hasn't gone away.
Glad to hear it. Well, I'll let you get back to hanging out in your room here. I'm sure you probably got a sandwich of your own here. So
yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
I know these guys.
Oh, yeah, they probably took it down. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time, sir.
Jeff.
All right.
Good to see you.
Yeah.